I'll speak from a bit of experience. I've been serving in the ministry for a while. I've been to different missions and church planting, and I did all of those not having had any theological training or education. What I went through was mostly on-the-job training, and most of my missions were more focused on growth and expansion, but not on theological grounding. Where I am today, I feel that there are many things I may have taught or preached that may not have been completely very biblical. In a sense, maybe misled people in a way.
So when Americans come over to Nairobi to visit, two things often surprise them about the state of the church. One is how faithful many of the pastors and churches are here, amidst some really difficult circumstances at times. But the other thing that surprises them, if they get to know the state of the church, is how few opportunities there are for pastors to be trained, and particularly to be trained at a deeper level.
For a long time, we have longed for the type of institution that would allow the men who are pursuing and seeking theological education access to that education without having to leave our context to go and acquire that education. For a long time, we have had to settle for one of two things: either to be removed from our context, to go out into another country, e.g. the United States of America, in pursuit for that high quality education, and thus sacrifice being plugged in to one's own local church, which we believe is very important, where one's character is being assessed and giftedness is being used. So either that's one option, or to settle for lower quality education, so remain in your own local church, but really not be able to access the kind of education that we have longed for a long time.
There are unique issues and questions and struggles that are facing the African church.
We do not want, in the next 15 to 30 to 50 years, for pastors in this context to be solely dependent on resources that are being written by Westerners.
But there isn't much of an opportunity for people to be able to study at that higher level to then be resources for the church. Right now, we're teaching students. We're starting off slowly, just teach who wants to be trained.
One of the things that we are excited about with our brother Mike Christ and others who have come together to establish a small seminary that is offering the same level of education as brothers are getting in the US in schools like RTS or PRTS or SBTS. And those brothers here are able not only to access that, but to continue to meaningfully participate in the life of the church.
We do church work, we go for elders meetings, service reviews, service planning, etc. Not only will we be equipped to divide the Word of God, but we will also be given hands-on experience with the goings-on of our local church.
We're learning systematic theology where, just boundaries, doctrinal truths that we should hold in terms of approaching the work of ministry. Church history where we are reading the Bible with brothers, right? All down through the ages to see where our brothers have made significant contributions and to stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us. So it's a really all-round package that I think will be significant as I approach the actual work of ministry, of shepherding a people to follow the Lord and trusting that especially I will grow in my view of God and worship of Him through this.
So I'm really encouraged by the fact that we are understanding that it is necessary for us to really dig deeper into the gospel so that it can advance even further to the utmost part of the world, just like Jesus Christ commanded us to do.
The approach that is being used in the theological studies that we are doing, not so much where we are pumped with knowledge, but where we are approach the lessons and the teachings from how useful it will be, how practical it is when we are with real people in a real church setting or with different situations that we may encounter in real life.
Our aim is to put together a solid master's level education and would be able to train people who want to serve the church, and that would just help them in their ministry here, but it would also allow some of them who would desire it to be able to go on to doctoral studies and then be able to serve the church as a pastor scholar. I'm trying to put this together with a team of other gifted people, because this is what pastors here in Africa are asking for. I'm serving under a ministry that is part of our church called Ecclesia Africa, trying to listen to the pastors and the elders and help design a program that would be useful for the church here. My goal is to equip students who are going to be able to take this into places that I would never be able to go. And they're going to be able to do it a lot more effectively than I would be able to do. What does a faithful partnership look like between the church in America and the church in Africa? I think Paul gives us some helpful instructions here when he says in Romans, "For I long to see you," talking about the Roman Christians, "that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to strengthen you. That is, that we may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith, both yours and mine." I think there are three things there that mark a faithful partnership. First, Paul wants to actually be with them. He wants to come and see them. There's something about physical presence that allows for a kind of relationship that just can't happen without it. Second, Paul wants this relationship to be spiritually encouraging, right? He wants to strengthen their faith. He wants to see them grow in the knowledge of Christ. And that's the aim of a partnership. But notice finally that it's mutual. This is the Apostle Paul talking, and he wants to be encouraged by their faith. I think a partnership between churches has to be mutual. That is, there's expectations on both sides that they would grow and be edified by one another. And this is why I am here physically present in Africa, working with the African church to help edify and grow and build into their faith. And I'm encouraged by that. I'm growing as well in partnership with the African brothers and sisters. And it's encouraging to see the church and the students I have who are studying in the seminary program in theological education. It's encouraging to see their hunger for the Word, their desire to learn and drink deeply from the well of resources deposited throughout church history, and to then apply these in their pastoral ministry, in their churches, in their situations. I'm very encouraged by that. And there's an opportunity for you to partner as well. We are able to be here serving the African church because people support us in the U.S. and they partner with us that we can partner with the church here. So please consider supporting the ministry of theological education in Africa by supporting our family to be physically present here with the church to edify and strengthen the church and be strengthened by the church. Thank you.